Let's all get fat during the holidays. Can we all collectively give up? Here's what I'm thinking. If we're all in this together, if we all make this commitment that we are going to let go of all of our goals and our dreams and just eat our favorite foods and get so fat that we are all wearing muumuus, stretch muumuus on New Year's Eve, then nobody will even notice because it's like everyone's wearing a muumuu. Nobody has money. Nobody has goals because we all just took December off. Who's with me on this plan? Caitlin, yeah. Are you ready to just give up with me? I'm hitting a wall. I can't anymore. I'm done. I'm done with all of it. Do you feel this? Am I the only one?
Nope. It's like maybe the last push.
It's been too much. Normally, I'm very motivated in December. I'm just thinking about new ways I'm going to win in the next year. I can't anymore. This year has just taken it out of me. It hasn't been a bad year. I think I just hustled a little too hard this year. And I don't know what it is. But Caitlin and I were talking to a friend of ours last night. We were watching football and we were talking to a friend of ours and she was saying she'd gained a lot of weight. And we were like, everybody has. Like we're all letting go of our standards and our goals and our dreams, and I'm here to defend it. I think it's good. I think it's good to take a pause. And you know me, it's not going to be a complete episode if I didn't find an influencer video to hate on. Pull it up, Caitlin. We'll play it again later, too. Ice baths are the best thing that ever happened to this podcast. Look at this. Look at the engagement on that. I never get engagement.
Everybody
like
says
this.
Discipline is so important, but they never want to tell you why. I'll tell you why discipline is so important. It's the strongest form of self-love. It's ignoring something you want right now for something better later on. Discipline reveals the commitment you have to your dreams, especially on days where you don't want to. The future you is depending on the current you to keep the promises you made to yourself yesterday.
Sitting in ice water, reliving the Titanic, telling me that there is no greater form of self-love than discipline. This man has never had a well-made Pims and lemonade. I had a Pims and lemonade the other day with a caramel chocolate square.
Oh.
To hell with discipline. It was incredible. That's self-love, sir. Get out of your ice bath. Get into my life. Get in. Let me make you a drink. You will see what self-love really looks like. So we have people sitting in ice, literally reliving the horrific deaths of everyone on the Titanic. Telling us how to live their lives and blowing all of my engagement out of the water. Can you see how many likes that had? How many likes does that have? Whatever it is, it's like 1,000,000 times the maximum number of likes that I would ever get on this fine content. This is what people... Oh! I quit. No, shut it down. Shut it down. No, that's it. I'm not even finishing this podcast episode. I'm so underappreciated that this is raps. That's what my kids are all saying, raps these days. That's a new term. It's raps for this podcast. That ice bath clip, you have to say it, Caitlin. I can't say it. How many likes does it have?
2.1 million
likes, not views. Likes. No, I'm stopping this whole thing. You know what, I'll sell my soul. That's fine. I'm going to become this person, and I'm going to stop this podcast, and I'm going to stop my clown career, and I am just going to sit in water. It'll look like ice bath, but you know me, I'll get it warmed up like to a nice temperature and just buy fake ice, like Halloween ice on Amazon. And I'll be like, guys, you got to be on your grind. And then I'll get 2 million likes on my content too, instead of like the 4 likes that I currently get from the hot fire that I spit every day on this podcast. Well, and actually that brings us to, so that's the main topic as usual. We will get to that in the second half of the show. By the way, this is just setup. I haven't even started. This is actually perfect how this all comes together because my husband just bought, or should I say made me buy, an inflatable hot tub. So I can actually use this for my ice bath videos. So I'm done trying to do content that's real and has good advice and is actually entertaining. I'm just going to sit in my fake ice bath and tell people how to live their lives and just churn out platitudes. I'm going to become a platitude machine. So what did this guy say? Discipline is the highest form of self-love. All right, I can mix that up. We can mix and match platitudes. I'll be like, commitment is the greatest form of self-care. You just watch. People will be like, what happened to Jen Fulwiler in the comedy space? And you'll be like, well, she's like kind of in the influencer space now. And then I'll be sitting in my mansion being like, I'm so glad I stopped my old boring podcast format, and now I actually get 2 million likes to my content. So that's a good plan. It's good to have a plan. So we'll talk about that. My husband making me buy an inflatable hot tub at Walmart. Sometimes I think we're not white trash. Other times I find myself shopping for inflatable hot tubs at Walmart because they're on sale. That's how poor and trashy we are. That like not only are we in the market for an inflatable hot tub, we couldn't afford a real one, but like it has to be on sale and at Walmart. And I had people talking to me. They're like, "Oh, wow, that's so cool that you have that." And I wanted to be like, "No. I am not an ally to your people. I am not an inflatable hot tub person. I'm not a friend of this community. So I am married in, I'm only related to your community by marriage. I don't otherwise have anything to do with you guys." So there's that. Anyway, this is all leading up to, we need to let's make it give up December. Let's not have goals. Let's not engage in the highest form of self-care, discipline. So stupid. I just got my nails done today, and that was actually really incredible self-care. It's a pretty color, right? It's red.
It's really nice
for the holidays. The 5 of you who watch my YouTube channel can see it. jfonyoutube.com will take you right to the page. This is episode 186. I felt like, I felt like nails were actually great self-care. So there we go. That's the episode that we have for you. And again, this is only setup. We haven't even started. Welcome to the Jen Fulwiler Show, coming to you from Austin, Texas. I am your host, Jen Fulwiler. Our lovely producer is Caitlin White, and this is the podcast where we make no money and get no engagement, and you learn the art of the village hustle. That's being a hot girl boss or hot boy boss who knows that love and family and community are the foundations of all true success. We have 2 levels on the Patreon. The base level is we do a little after party after each show where I keep going on this topic from the episode or on a related topic. And then we also have the higher level where you get the after party content, and then you get my village hustle level at the higher level, and that is where I bring you into specific business problems I'm dealing with or life problems and how I go about them, how I solve it. Think of it this way. If the regular podcast is a mixed drink, the Village Hustle Patreon is a shot. It's the shot version of what you get on this podcast. Now, I am going to fill and not say or bring up anything that would require using media or sound effects because, Caitlin, someone has the heat turned all the way up in this studio, and even though it really is bringing in like the hell vibes that I feel in my life right now, could you please switch it to AC? Yes. And make the AC okay? So you'll see Caitlin walk in front of the camera here. Listen, guys, the holidays, they're killing me. By which I mean blessed holiday season to you. Look, everyone always tries to make it sound like there is a way to simplify the holiday season so that it can be simple and you can have less work. They're like, we just buy our children 1 book for Christmas, and we've told them That's the real meaning of Christmas. Well, I mean, your kids hate Christmas. I mean, let's be real. Like, if you're playing that game, like, they're not really thrilled with it. I hate it when people aren't honest about the fact that having a bunch of awesome presents that are wrapped in a really fun way under the tree matters. Like, I don't know why cosplaying poverty is supposed to be some great virtuous thing for people to do at Christmas. It's fun to have a bunch of presents under the tree. And if you can't swing it, that's understandable. It happens to us all sometimes, but it is a cool thing to do if you can swing it. So what I evidently have gotten for my husband this year is an inflatable hot tub. What happened was I was out running errands, living my best life, and my husband was on his way to Houston. This is where, he's a member of the yacht club, which is where he keeps his boat. Not as rich as it sounds. You hear yacht club, you're like, oh, the Fulwilers must be rich. Oh, no. And this will solidify it for sure. Yacht club members, yes. Patrons of the discount Walmart inflatable hot tub community, also yes. So obviously we're not rich, or else what I'm about to tell you played out would not have played out. So he's down there. He's going to mess around with his boat. And he calls me and he says, I'm at Walmart. I'm at the Walmart in Manor. That's a town near us. He says, I'm at the Walmart in Manor and I'm in the inflatable hot tub section. And I said, why? Is this something you normally do when you're on the way to Houston? And he said, well, it occurred to me I could get an inflatable hot tub to put on the dock next to my boat. And I have to admit, it did make me so happy for my husband that he has this boat. It's not expensive. I mean, this guy, it's like a third the price of a used car. This is not an expensive boat that he has, but he loves this thing. And the thought of my husband, who he grew up very poor, he worked very hard in life, and to escape this generational poverty that he came from, and to imagine him being able to sit in his little inflatable hot tub next to his little boat. And I know he'd get some nachos and he'd get some beer. I have to admit that level of joy, it made me feel joyful just imagining him getting to live that. So he said, I was at Walmart. I'm at Walmart and I'm thinking about getting an inflatable hot tub for outside my boat. But he said they're actually pretty expensive here. And it made me realize that our Walmart has incredible deals on them, and I'm afraid they're going to sell out. So you need to drop what you're doing and go get it. So we had an inflatable hot tub emergency, is what he was trying to tell me. I'm a supportive spouse. It's important to support your spouse's quirks, the strange things that they're into, and so and by the way, this one was for our house. This is not one that he would take down to Houston. No, this is for our house. So I walk through Walmart. I find where they are. Indeed, $258. I have to say that's a pretty good deal. That's nice. I mean, I don't know what I expected these items to cost, but it was more than that. So first of all, it's so heavy. These things are so heavy, and it's just me. Who am I going to rope into this? My kids were at school. They're not strong enough to lift it anyway. So first of all, I had to figure out how to get this massive, heavy box. It says on the box, 2-person job. I had to figure out how to get this into my cart. And I wasn't going to ask for help because I am an introvert. And the only thing worse than shopping for discount inflatable hot tubs is having people help me with inflatable discount hot tubs, is having to go into extrovert mode on top of this. So finally, I get it in my cart. And I'm just trying to get out of there. I don't know how I'm going to get it in my car. It's very heavy. People started stopping me. They perceived that I was one of them. This guy, very nice man, but he walks up. He's like, "Oh, where do they have those? That's incredible." He's like, it's a blow up hot tub. He's like, "I need one of those. You must be so psyched." I immediately tried to distance myself from this item. I said, "Oh, it's actually for my husband. He is more the patron of this product. This is not a lifestyle that I aspire to." And then he begins to tell me stories about how his cousin Randy, had an inflatable hot tub. And look, I appreciate people building villages, speaking to strangers, talking to them. I appreciated the sentiment, but with every word that came out of his mouth, it occurred to me that there's now someone on planet Earth who has a mental picture of me in their mind and is thinking that woman is a hot tub woman. But she's a poor hot tub woman. She's poor. She doesn't have like a nice hot tub. This isn't like celebrity hot tub experience where your butler brings you the champagne in your nice built-in hot tub. No. She's a blow-up hot tub person. And someone has my face in their mind, and they now associate my face with desiring the blow-up hot tub experience. And I don't know how I am going to continue to exist in this world knowing that that's the case. Let me tell you, when the comedy millions come in, first thing we're doing is getting rid of this item, and we'll get a real hot tub. We'll get a nice hot tub. And then other people stop me too. They're like, "Where'd you get one of those? Oh, y'all are killing it. This is amazing. We need an inflatable hot tub too." So the people of Walmart really rallied around this product. I was like the Pied Piper of white trash. Everyone was like following me, asking where I found this item. I never asked for this role in my life. It was just handed to me. It just happened. So I've got all these people stopping me as I'm just trying to get out of Walmart without being seen with this item. And then this thing is so heavy. It is so heavy. It took me fully 10 minutes to figure out how to get it in my car because I needed to pull it up a little bit to get it up and over the way I had the seats down in the minivan, and I just couldn't do it. It was taking forever. And again, I did not want to ask anyone for help because then there will be yet another person on planet Earth who sees me and thinks inflatable hot tub person. So then it's stuck in my car. And it is blocking my entire rear view. And by the way, this lasted for days. It took my husband a while to get it out. So every time I go to look in the mirror, I see not the other vehicles I need to be yielding to. I see instead a reminder that we are trashy people. I see a picture of people living their best life in this blow-up hot tub every time I look in my rearview mirror. It surprised me anew every time. So I get it home. And I decided to do a reel about it. I put it on Instagram, TikTok, all that, Facebook. And it really got around. On Instagram, it went viral. Not ice bath viral. Oh, no, not 2.1 million likes viral. But it did all right. It went viral. So then what happened next is exactly what you would think would happen if you have content on this subject matter go viral. I had a bunch of people leaving the pineapple emoji in my comments. Caitlin, do you know?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think they think, oh, she's Catholic. She's a mom of 6. This is going to fly right over her head. No.
Nope.
No, people. I am a stand-up comic. It is literally my job to keep up with y'all's perversions so that I can know what you're up to so I can make fun of it in my comedy. Yes, I am aware of what that stands for. And so now I've attracted that community. Now I probably have these people following me, like the STD Fest crowd. They're all like, oh, Jen Fulwiler, she's what we're about. Let's see if we can come over to her house. Oh my gosh. It just keeps getting worse. Because I knew the white trash community would really be excited about this. And by the way, listen, I know a lot of you guys are excited about this. I'm not calling you white trash. If you thought this was a great idea and you went and bought one, as many of my Instagram followers did, okay? I'm not calling you white trash. I'm calling us white trash. And by the way, this is not race specific. You could be Korean and you're honorary white trash if you own one of these. So now I knew I'd have that community. now I have the swinger community really excited about this and following me and wanting to know more about what Jen Fulwiler is about. Nothing that you guys would be interested in. I have nothing in common with you people. So now I actually made notes on this, the way that the impact this has had on my life. Oh, okay. Yes. Cause then I thought, hang on, I need to take a sip of my drink. Speaking of letting go of your goals and your commitments, we all get a pass this month. So then I thought, so people you could see the logo in my minivan. And I've been running a lot of errands because it's the holiday season. And if you are a mom, the holiday season is like working in a coal mine. People who worked in coal mines back in the day have it easier than a mom during the holiday season. So I was out running all these errands, getting all this stuff ready. And the whole time, the inflatable hot tub is in my trunk. And I thought, what if people think I just carry one with me? You know, in case I run into a group of swingers and I'm like, hey guys, got to get the hot tub out right here in the Walmart parking lot. What if they think I carry one around just in case of emergencies? Because you never know. You never know when you could have a hot tub emergency. And some people might have thought that because my mother-in-law, God rest her soul, the craziest East Texas, wildest woman you've ever met in your life, she had a friend, and she told me this very casually, that she had a friend who always carried around a potty chair in the back of her SUV. And I said, why? Did she had grandkids or something? And my mother-in-law says, no, it was because, in this woman's words, you never know when there's going to be a long line at the bathroom at the square dance hall.
What?
Or maybe there's a line for the bathroom at the grocery store. And she would and this made sense to my mother-in-law. She said, oh yeah, Edna Mae, she'd put the potty chair in between two cars. She'd do her business. And I was like, and then what? If you're in a parking lot at the square dance hall, I mean, you can't empty it. Do you just put it back in the...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. So people do things like this. So what if people thought that I was carrying around an inflatable hot tub, and that I'm just like the woman with the potty chair, that I just think that I might need one, and I should have one with me at all times. Look, I think my takeaway on this, having so many people having witnessed me carry this product around. And by the way, I didn't think that reel I did would go anywhere. I didn't think that it would go viral. I put it up and I was like, oh, what a waste of time. This will get like 5,000 views. Better than YouTube, but still. I didn't think that would go anywhere. And so now a lot of people associate with me, this product with me. And it just makes me think, it's a good reminder. You have to turn your reputation over to God. If you're worried about what some group of people is saying about you, your kids' teachers think you're slacking. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, I just remembered an email that I was supposed to reply to like 2 weeks ago. Okay, so here, good example from real life. You might be lying awake thinking my kid's teacher thinks that I'm a slacker and a bad parent. Like, and if it's my case, they'd be dead on with that. And they probably really do think that. Normally, I would give you encouragement. Like, I bet they don't think that. Well, if you're me, they honestly probably do. And it's, yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm actually going to stop that line of thought. But you can't care. You just have to turn your reputation over to God and be like, this is actually what my best looks like. Okay. And I know that for other people, their best looks a lot better than mine. I give you that. That, Ms. Anderson down the street, her best is incredible and she's crushing it. But I do not have the mental wherewithal that she does to live this life that we are living. And so my best is just, you're going to have to grade me on the curve here. But you know what this made me think? I was just thinking of how vastly different my husband and I are. He is hot tub guy. He walks around in flip-flops all the time. 12 months out of the year, the man is in flip-flops, in shorts, and he's just that bro-y kind of guy. He was actually a frat boy. He was a frat boy at Yale. So just good Yale man, minded his P's and Q's. He didn't party too much. He never had a friend who collapsed their lung with a bong hit. Nothing like that. He's just like a good, wholesome, all-American, frat boy kind of guy. And so, of course, he would love a hot tub. He also loves a good deal, which is how we ended up with this type of hot tub. And I thought, man, it really teaches you a lot about yourself, marriage, because my husband can do things like interact with people, like our friends who are our next door neighbors. Every day's a party at their house. In fact, Caitlin, like right now as we're recording this, they're probably starting
there's
a party, right?
Like,
yeah, that's right. They had a bonfire last night. I mean, they're super extroverted, great friends of ours. And Joe will say, hey, everyone's drinking beer around the bonfire. We share a backyard. Did you want to go hang out with these people? And to me, that just seems so overwhelming. It's like, how would I know like when to engage in conversation? I might be cold. There might be a fly in the air. I mean, it just seems like, what if I had to go to the bathroom? To me, that seems like a very overwhelming prospect. To him, see, he tries to make everything sound simple, that it's like your neighbors are drinking beer by a bonfire. And my husband tries to make it sound like you could just go sit next to the bonfire and hang out. Like, what? It's not. Come on. Obviously, there are 50 different things you have to think through and all these different combinations and permutations that you have to anticipate before you try to engage in a social situation. So, God, Mike and Gail, I love them so much. I feel like it's like ministry that they put up with me and deal with me. So, the ultimate contrast between who my husband is as a person and who I am. I'm going to bring you into this contrast by telling you the two products that we just bought and how we reacted to them. So, my husband's most recent purchase, albeit gathered by me, was the inflatable hot tub. He is setting it up as I record this podcast episode. He's so excited about it. He can't wait to invite everyone over to have beer and sit in this thing. He's not worried at all about the fact that it's limit 3 people. He's like, I feel like that's just a suggestion. We could get at least 6 people in there. And he's just very excited about this. He feels like it has made his life complete. He wants for nothing, and everything is perfect. Now, I recently bought one of those air freshener things. It comes in a container. It's like it comes in a carton, and then you put batteries in it, and it has a timer where it goes, psh, and it sprays. Okay. That was my most recent purchase. I bought one of those. I had to take it out of the house because it was causing me an enormous amount of stress. It destroyed my peace. It was this terrifying object to me. So first of all, when I walked by it, I would always steel myself for what if the little psh things happen? What if that happens right when I walk by? Because honestly, it would scare me. I'm a very jumpy person. It causes me physical pain when I am scared. And so I just thought I would actually wait. I'd wait a couple minutes and I'd say, okay, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it do its psh thing. But then a couple minutes would go by, and I'm also very impatient. So I'd start getting bored. And you have to walk by it to go out the front door. So then I get bored, but then I'd be like, oh no, it's definitely going to go off because too much time has gone on. and then I was almost late a couple times not wanting to walk by this thing. And then I just decided to ignore it. I moved it to a different place, which was like someone defusing a bomb. Like, when do I grab it so that it won't make the sound while I'm touching it, which would be terrifying. So then I move it to a different place, but I can still hear it. First of all, it scares me every time it goes off. That is how fragile I am. When I tell you I need to live the boy in the bubble lifestyle, this is not an exaggeration. Here, I'm going to imitate the sound, okay? The sound is like this. It goes, terrifies me. I jump, like I jump every time it goes off. And then let's diagnose which mental illness this is. Then I get stressed out because I was the one who set it up. So I know that it's on a 16-minute timer. You can choose 8, 16, or 32 minutes. Why didn't they do more kind of easy, like 5, 10, 15? We don't know. Whatever. It's like 8, 16, 32. And see, I noticed that and it bothered me. I was like, why do you have these weird multiples of time? Okay, so whatever. No one else noticed that. That was just me. We're getting more clues of what mental illness I have. So then every time it goes off, I know that 16 minutes has passed. And that's very upsetting to me. It's very distracting. I'm like, well, what have I done with my last 16 minutes? Have I used that time efficiently? And now 16 more minutes have passed and my life is just wasting away. Guys, I can't use it. I'm too fragile to have the auto air freshener. I really am. I'm too fragile for it. So what is that? Is that Asperger's? Like, is that the final confirmation that we needed, that I'm a little bit on the Asperger's spectrum? Or I don't think that one is sheer ADHD, because even ADHD people are not so fragile that a little tiny noise destroys their peace. ADHD people are a little overly concerned with the passage of time. So that might be why that 16-minute thing just like really upset me and would get me fixating. Anyway, leave a comment on YouTube. You can tell me which particular mental illness you think I have. But that is, or I guess Asperger's is not mental illness, but disorder. You can tell me which disorder you think I have. But that is us as a married couple, that my husband could be in a room with 50 of those things. He would not notice. He would not care, because he would just be having a beer with his nachos in his inflatable hot tub that he set up in the middle of the living room. And he'd be inviting his friends over. My husband just moves through life very easily. Like, he thinks things like going outside are just easy. Like, you can just do that. You can just go outside and hang out there. And you can just go walk up to a group of people sitting by a fire that, you've known and lived next door to for 20 years, and you can act like, oh, this is like a normal thing to do. And I am terrified by an auto air freshener. So this is how marriage teaches you things about yourself. Marriage teaches you things about yourself. And that actually, it kind of segues into why we're giving up on our goals for December, and why I am a defender of the idea of diet starts tomorrow. You know that idea. Diet starts tomorrow. Well, you shouldn't. The diet starts right now. You need to make it a lifestyle. I'm a defender of saying, I'm having a tough time right now, and the diet really does start tomorrow. My diet starts tomorrow so that all of you don't die, because I'm at my mental breaking point and I can't keep to my grind set goals right now. Okay. So that's why I'm definitely a defender of that. And before I get into that, which is the main topic, let me tell you, episode 20 of the Village Hustle Patreon just came out a couple of days ago. And I was talking again about the critical importance of realizing that a lot of your takes on things are crazy. Mm-hmm. If you were to take a collection of everything that's stressing you out right now, probably about half of the things that are stressing you out they're just not true. You think that one person is mad at you. You think this other person thinks you're an idiot. You think your house is a disaster and no one likes being in it, that sort of thing. You're wrong about all of it, probably. And so I was talking about that, about how I had something all worked up in my mind. I knew for a fact that this was a disaster. It was going to be a disaster. And it ended up being fine. It was totally fine. So we talked about that in the Village Hustle Patreon, patreon.com/thisisjen. You can see the couple levels we have there. When you do the Village Hustle level, you also get access to the base level. And with both of them, all of the archives and all of that, patreon.com/thisisjen. Link in the show notes. The past few weeks that I have had have sent my stress level to a 10,000, which is funny because I'm not on tour. Do you notice I was so relaxed when I was on tour? If you listen to these podcast episodes from September, October, November, I was traveling almost every week. And I was trying to get stuff ready to film my stand-up comedy special, which comes out in early 2024. Get ready to help me promote that, since I don't get 2.1 million likes on anything I do. Anyway, it's this is actually related to the hot tub air freshener thing too. It's so important to know yourself, because I am fine handling very, very complex situations where there are a lot of moving pieces, putting an event together or whatever. When it comes to my tour, I book my openers, I book my airfare, I book my travel, I set up sound check, light check, I set up the video. Sometimes, thank God, Caitlin is here to help me, but sometimes she's not. And I set up all of the video, I edit the video, I export the video. I do so much when I am on tour. It's kind of insane while writing comedy to get it together for the special. But I can't have an air freshener on a timer in my house because it terrifies me. And I can't walk down to the bonfire because that seems like a really complicated situation to me. So look, we all have things in life that we're good at and that we're bad at. So anyway, for some reason, tour season, no problem. I'm winning at life, even with all that I have going on. You take me off of tour, and now I just have a lot of domestic stuff to do. I'm losing my mind. My stress level on a scale of 1 to 10 is 1 billion. It's crazy. So I do think it's important to know yourself and to understand your wiring, so that if you end up getting stressed out about things that other people are not stressed out about, you can understand, okay, that's legit for me because of my very fragile wiring. I'm good at other things. Now, those things don't happen to have any applicable use and have not been making me a ton of money lately, but I'm very good at those things. It's like, yeah, why can't I be good at like being a partner at a law firm or something, you know? Okay, so anyway, this is why we have to give up on our goals, and we need to just collectively decide that we will be fat and lazy in December. It's Fat Lazy December. Leave a comment on YouTube if you're in. jfonyoutube.com. This is actually what made me think of all this. Caitlin, pull up the picture that I put in our little media folder. Again, you can find this on the YouTube channel. If you're hearing it later, just look up episode, what is it? It's 186, right? Mm-hmm. You can search my YouTube channel for 186. Okay. So Taylor Swift's producer friend put up this picture on his Instagram stories. Caitlin, just describe it for the 99.9% of people who are not going to go over to YouTube.
So it's Taylor Swift standing at a kitchen counter with a little pile of raisins in front of her. And she's in a cardigan sweater. I don't know. She looks so comfortable. So
yeah. Okay. So her producer friend posts this picture. I guess he took this picture of her. And so there's a song called "You're Losing Me." It is very moving. It's the kind of song that people who think that Taylor Swift only does silly, fluffy, poppy songs, which is such an ignorant take, should listen to. It's a very intimate, personal song. She recorded it in December of 2021, and the rumor is that she'd been dating this guy for a long time. Everybody thought they would get married. They kept their relationship out of the spotlight. It just seemed like they had a really healthy, nice relationship. He was not a celebrity. And I forget his name because I have such a bizarre parasocial attachment to the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce situation that anyone else she's ever dated, they're all just not Travis Kelce to me. Couldn't care less about any of them. They're all dead to me. I find none of them interesting. So she's dating some rando. Thank God he's out of her life so that we can have her at Chiefs games and whatnot. But okay, so let's really think about this. So put yourself in Taylor Swift's position, okay? You're like, I mean, yes, it's cool to be rich and famous, no doubt. But with that comes a lot of pressure. If you are in Taylor Swift's situation, if you're not on your game, if you mess this up, if you suddenly, what if you can't write anymore? What if you run out of ideas for songs? A lot of people lose their jobs at that level that she is at. A lot of people are feeding their families based on working for her. This is a lot of pressure. A lot of people have staked their reputations on her career. So yeah, it's fun, but it's there really is a lot of pressure with it, and it can be very lonely. If you're Taylor Swift and you meet someone new, how do you know that they really want to be friends with you? I mean, I'd do it. Even if I met Taylor Swift and she and I didn't click at all, and I was like, actually, this chick is a little annoying, you'd better believe I'd be the fakest person in the world. I'd be like, I've never had a friendship like this, Taylor. You know? I mean, I would do it. Anyone would do it. So if you're Taylor Swift, it's like, how do you know if people are being fake like Jen and would do or say anything to just be photographed with you so that her enemies know that she's living her best life? You know, it can be a very lonely existence. And in fact, in that documentary about her, she was saying that she won, it was like People's Choice Award. She won some really fun award. This was years ago. It was like 6 years ago or something. And she was saying she didn't have anyone to call afterwards because she had her parents, but she didn't really have any real friends to call. She just went home alone after winning this big award. And she often refers to herself, she did at the Eras Tour, she refers to herself as a lonely cat lady. That is how she sees herself. So all I'm trying to establish is that she has major pressure in her life. And then at the time she recorded this song, it sounds like her relationship was falling apart. And this was a real one. This wasn't just some silly celebrity. Like, she was really close with this guy, kept him out of the spotlight, and it was falling apart. So she's under all of this pressure. Everything's falling apart in her life. It's the holidays. And she's like, I gotta eat 7 raisins. I'm gonna do it. I'm eating all 7. You know, I don't care. This pressure that my life is under. I'm eating these raisins. 1, 2. No, I'm going all the way. I'm going to eat 7. So there's the difference between me and Taylor Swift. Perhaps you and Taylor Swift. She's at the darkest point in her life in many years. And her coping mechanism is eating raisins. While Taylor Swift has 5 raisins, I would have 5 Pims and lemonade. That's Jen's. Man, if there's ever a picture of me that's like, like Caitlin can post it on her stories when we're rich and famous, because this picture that he just posted was from a couple years ago. So Caitlin could take a picture tonight. But then a couple years from now, when the Comedy Millions are here and everyone's like, what is Jen Fulwiler about? You know, she's so successful. Now she does get 2.1 million likes on everything she posts. What is she about? And Caitlin could be like, a little throwback for you guys. You know, Jen was having a hard time. It would not be a picture of me in a kitchen with some freaking raisins. It would be like, so it's kind of hard to see Jen here because she's face down on her kitchen floor. And what you see spilled next to her is the 4th Pims and lemonade that I tried to slap out of her hand. What you see oozing out from under her was the Supreme pizza that I was going to have some from, and she was like, no, get out of my way, and she shoved me through a wall, and she grabbed the whole pizza and just started shoving the whole thing in her mouth without even eating it, you know, cutting it up. And then that's when she fell face forward, and the Pims and lemonade got everywhere. That's the picture. That would be the throwback picture that Caitlin posts. It wouldn't be this like Jen eating raisins because she felt like she was under a lot of pressure. Are you kidding me? Man, if I could like trade my right arm to have that kind of dopamine wiring, that when I'm stressed, what I do is I go do some deep work. I go write a song, dude. I go write some new comedy. That when I'm stressed, I channel it into creative output. I'm like, I'm having a horrible day. There are going to be 5 podcast episodes this week because I don't want to eat my feelings. I don't want to let go of my sobriety commitment. What I want to do is just bless people with hot fire content. See, this is why I have no views on YouTube. This is why I don't get 2.1 million likes for things. And it's why I'm not Taylor Swift, because I don't want to just eat raisins and then do something constructive. I want to lose myself to an oblivion. I want to lose myself in a haze of pizza and alcohol. That is how I handle stress. And that is why I'm never going to hit Taylor Swift's level of success, because when she is stressed, she eats 4 raisins. If I had that kind of dopamine wiring, I could take over the world. But for some of us, our brains are wired so that when we get stressed, we end up in a serotonin and a dopamine deficit. And if you try to stand between us and the substance that will fix that deficit, we will pick you up with one hand and throw you through a wall like the Incredible Hulk. This is a cross for me. All right, you can take down the picture. But just, listen, some people listening to this podcast do have that kind of dopamine wiring. My personal trainer, for example. I have actually been seeing a personal trainer. Good for me. I know. I'm a very fit person. What can I say? Don't make more of that than it is. It's a lot of stretching. It's just for my posture. I'm not out there like crushing it at the gym. So I see my personal trainer, Dana. She is incredible, and she has a whole different kind of dopamine wiring. She has the Taylor Swift profile, because all we do is talk. When I'm working out with her, we just talk. So I've gotten to know her really well, and I am very interested in the way her brain works vis-a-vis need for dopamine and serotonin. And it's just very interesting to me that it's very clear to me that she does not need substances to boost her serotonin. She seems to have a natural, good, strong baseline of serotonin. So if she is having a terrible day, it's really fine for her to go work out or do something constructive. Like Taylor Swift, Dana, my trainer, could go have a few raisins and then just do something constructive, like work on a new fitness profile for one of her clients. Some of us have different brain chemistry. And when we get into that serotonin deficit, we're like heroin addicts. I would rob a liquor store if that's what it took to get what I need to feel better. And again, that's why I recommend antidepressants. I know you guys are like, I don't do pharmaceuticals. You're crazy. I'm telling you, if you think you're wired like that, you should seriously try it. I am still on the tapering dose. I'm still on the lowest possible dose of Zoloft, but it really does help me with the situation. Less likely to rob liquor stores for my hit of things that make my brain feel better. But, we've talked before how with food and drink, and when I say drink, I mean sodas or really anything. I do believe there is a spectrum of addiction. And for example, the people on My 600-Pound Life, they are all the way at one side of the spectrum. They have a true addictive profile. Food is like heroin for them. Their brains need it on that level. Then there are people on the total other side of the spectrum, like my personal trainer. She has zero addiction issues, as far as I can tell, when it comes to food. She can have half a glass of wine and be done. You could she could have not eaten all day. She is hangry. She is starving. You could put a double fudge chocolate cake in front of her with mashed potatoes, with potato chips, with chips and queso, and a margarita, and a glass of wine. She could have a couple little bites and say, you know what? I'm feeling satiated now. So, your stomach is only as big as your fist, so I don't need to eat any more than that. The one forkful of the double fudge chocolate cake that I had that was delicious, and I'm done now. You put that stuff in front of me when I have cravings. Have you ever seen the Cookie Monster? How he used to just like the true a binge eating king. Bring him back. That was incredible. How he would just show us what binge eating was all about. The joy, the glory. Really appreciate that kind of representation. So some parents came back. Some parents were like, Cookie Monster is a bad role model because he shows binge eating. I'm like, I appreciate the representation. That is me at midnight on a Friday. That is incredible. I really admire our binge eating king, Cookie Monster. So, Cookie Monster would be definitely about halfway through that spectrum of addiction. And for those of us who have that wiring where we really do get a boost, we get a significant serotonin boost from food, I think it can actually be a strategy to use that judiciously. I have been doing this during the holidays, and I think the key is to realize what you're doing and give yourself a high five and not let it get out of control, but just say, you know what, I had said I had said that this was going to be Fit December. I'm going to head into the new year with a svelte body. And now when you put on your jeans, it's like when you pop open a biscuit can. That is what is happening when you button your jeans. Understandable. We're all under stress. And I think that there is something to be said for just saying that's how it's going to be in December. Because I am constantly in situations that deplete my serotonin. I have a lot of stress right now. Buying presents for kids, making the holiday special. That can bring up some pretty deep issues. We miss our lost loved ones. There's a lot of emotional weight during the holiday season. And if you occasionally use a margarita and a double fudge chocolate cake to ameliorate that, I think that's very defensible. Now, let's hear what the ice bath people would say about that. Let's play that clip again. What is ice bath? What does a man who is reenacting the deaths on the Titanic have to say about it? That's what I want to hear. What does he have to say?
Everybody says discipline is so important, but they never want to tell you why. I'll tell you why discipline is so important. It's the strongest form of self-love. It's ignoring something you want right now for something better later on. Discipline reveals the commitment you have to your dreams, especially on days where you don't want to. The future you is depending on the current you to keep the promises you made to yourself yesterday.
Let me tell you, you know what? Wait a minute. Hang on. We have an incoming. Wait a minute. We have an incoming transmission. Hang on. Wait. Wait. This is exciting. Hang on. Oh, guys, it's future Jen. It's future Jen. It's Jen 2 years from now. She's calling from the year 2025 because Ice Bath Man just referred to future you and your commitment. What does 2025 Jen have to say with how I'm handling this December? Hang on, I'm listening. 2025 Jen, are you there? Okay. All right. Well, tell us, what do you have to say about all of the eating and drinking that I am doing to survive this month? Okay. All right. We've heard back. She says, yas, queen. She says, do whatever you have to do because that stuff was hard. That was hard. She's like, I remember it. Those were hard times. And hang on. What is she saying now? Oh, the Comedy Millions are here? Yes. Oh, she's here with 2025 Caitlin.
Yes.
Caitlin's dating Aaron Rodgers.
What?
Really? Oh, it's working out really well. Okay, good.
Excuse me, Aaron.
Good. You guys are at Santorini? Oh my gosh, I hear that's beautiful. Okay. How many staff members do you have? 10. Wow. Okay, so future Jen is saying that giving myself a freaking break right now actually helped me get to the millions and to the success that I have in 2025. Because here's the thing. Ice bath people always tell you while they are sitting in their sub-zero Arctic experience. Okay, I didn't go on a tangent that I really could have. Ice bath people are always talking to you about discipline. They're like, I said last night that I would do my ice bath or have to keep to your commitment. Do you know what you're saying when you get obsessive about these kind of commitments? You are saying that you don't trust yourself now. If yourself now is looking at that ice bath and saying, do you know what that is going to do to our genitalia when we step in there? Let's not. That's how the people on the Titanic died. I don't want any part of this. You're letting yourself from last night override them. Be like, well, I said I would do it, so I have to do it. No, your now self is telling you this is a terrible idea. And when you don't get in the ice bath, you are affirming that you trust your current self. You are trusting now self to guide you in the right direction. I'm a big believer in the diet starts tomorrow. I'm going to hang out and live my life today, and we'll get back to it tomorrow, because sometimes life is too hard to stick with what you committed to. You committed to it when you didn't know how soul crushing this month was going to be. That's why you committed to it. You didn't know what a disaster this month was going to be. And listen, your brain only has so much serotonin to get you through each week. And for those of us who are living a village lifestyle, either you have kids or you're married or you're taking care of elderly relatives or you have a crazy job where you're trying to help a lot of people at your job or whatever, you're a student, you're trying to uplift your fellow students and get through the week or whatever. If you're living any kind of life where any other people are involved in it in any way, that is going to deplete your energy reserves. It is going to deplete those feel-good chemicals in your brain. And in order to live ice bath life, jogging life, eating water crackers instead of a steak life, or whatever it is, whatever diet you're into, there's a place for that. But it does take energy, and it does you need to go into your reserves of dopamine, of serotonin to kind of get you through that. And yes, of course, there's a payoff. You feel great when you look in the mirror and you're all ripped and you're like, oh, I'm so glad we did that. But you have to have those kind of energy reserves to get there. And sometimes you just don't. Like when you're trying to buy all these Christmas presents and you're like, we don't have the money for this, but my kids are really excited about this. And we, as modern parents, have just set up the Santa thing all wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to hit the I am
That's
going on a tangent.
Yep.
So, no, now this one we're doing. Modern parents have totally screwed up the Santa concept. What was Santa helper, Swiss... chains. Hang on. This is what I'm Googling because Santa. No. Oh, no. It's showing me chains like necklaces. No.
Get that chain
Swiss devil. If I Google that, his name. Oh, Schmutzel. Yeah. Schmutzel. Okay. Modern parents have totally screwed up the Santa concept. It used to be in old Europe that Santa came with an evil sidekick named Schmutzel who would take bad children and put them in a basket and drag them to the underworld. I'm not saying we should do that.
We should bring something back.
But there should be some kind of concept. There should be some kind of concept that helps parents a little bit. Like you do have to mind your P's and Q's. Now, Santa is just a concierge.
Yeah.
That is the modern Santa concept. You give the man a list. He's your personal shopper and he has no budget. Yeah. That is how we have set up Santa now. Bring back Schmutzel so at least we can get some good behavior out of this.
Or at least a budget. Holy cow.
I know.
There should be like a limit across the board, for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who started this tradition that now all of our kids think that Santa is a flying concierge with no budget? It's killing us. So, and especially for if you have little kids and they're all like, oh, mama, I know that we are poor because we spent all our money on daddy's inflatable hot tub. And you have all the perverts leaving pineapple comments on your Instagram. Life is very hard for us right now, but I know that Santa will bring me that Xbox. It's like, we totally messed this up. How did we start this tradition? And then you're trying to make your house look nice for Christmas in the Instagram age. So no matter what you do, you're actually going to feel proud of it. And then you're going to pull up social media and be like, this is garbage. This is
Why did
horrible.
I try?
This is actually worse than if I hadn't tried. This is, another day, hit the new tangent. When I converted to believing in God, I converted from lifelong atheism. And for a while, all I did was beef with atheists on the internet from like 2006 to 2011. It was the Wild West. No, 2012. It was 6 years of me beefing with atheists. The number one Google result for my name used to say Jen Fulwiler, or no, it was Jennifer Fulwiler, vacant-eyed, mindless cluelessness personified. Because this absolute moron, PZ Myers, we got in a beef. I got in a beef with Amanda Marcotte. Just a bunch of me and all the big name atheists. We just went at it. It was so fun. It was just great times. But one of the things they would always say is that I converted to Catholicism out of convenience. I was like, Google this religion. Do you have any idea how much more work Catholicism has put on my plate. These atheists online saying that I converted from atheism to Catholicism because I'm weak and I needed convenience. Do you have any idea what my to-do list looks like now that I'm Catholic? I have to celebrate Advent. I have to celebrate Lent, Easter. We have all these different seasons. With atheism, we just had football season. That was the only season that we needed to worry about. If I converted to any religion out of convenience, it would have been Jehovah's Witness, Christian Science, one of the ones where you celebrate nothing. No birthdays, no holidays. It's just chilling every day. You never have to decorate. You never have to wrap presents. That would have been the one. If I wanted convenience, I would have chosen the religion that just clears off my to-do list. No decorating. I don't have to feel like I failed at doing the viral shower curtain wreath thing. Like, no, just none of that. That's what I would have done if I wanted convenience. Telling me I converted to Catholicism, Catholicism for convenience. We have to fast like all the time during Lent. Like, come on. Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, I think there is nothing wrong with that diet starts tomorrow mentality if you do it the right way. Certainly, if you do it for, say, 30 years and you are consistently unhappy with the way you look, that probably will not lead you to a life that you like. However, if you turn to substances, but we're not talking about like doing meth here, guys. We're talking about like having that grilled cheese sandwich because you had a hard day, or having a glass of wine or what. I'm not promoting going off the rails. And if you have genuine, real addiction issues, that's a whole other ballgame. But if we're talking about having a glass of wine, making that grilled cheese sandwich, I think there can actually be something beneficial if you do it in a way where you are actively fostering trust in now self. Meaning, okay, I said I wouldn't have the grilled cheese sandwich today. But that was before I got a call from the school saying, we need you to come down for a meeting. Now I am super stressed. I have used all of my dopamine reserves, all of my serotonin reserves, dealing with the fact that after I got that call, I saw that one of our pets evidently binged all the Taco Bell leftovers based on what I am seeing on our living room floor. I'm having that grilled cheese sandwich. I'm not taking my ice bath because my life is an ice bath. And if you go ahead and eat the grilled cheese sandwich, but with not only no guilt, but in fact, not only do you let go of all guilt, but you give yourself a high five. You stuff that grilled cheese sandwich into your life and you're like, iconic, iconic, incredible. Now self always knows the right moves. This is a great idea. I'm so glad I did it. And when you have that feeling later, you can get a carb hangover, a sugar hangover. There are all types of hangovers that don't just come from alcohol. And you have that full feeling and your pants are fitting too tight. There is a temptation to beat yourself up. Now you hate past self. Past self is an idiot. Oh, she's so terrible. No. We are going to defend her and say, no, she was iconic. That was an incredible move. She's doing all the right things. And I can trust myself to make good decisions in the moment. And I believe that I will continue to make good decisions in the moment. And when you consistently foster that sense of trust in yourself, you will slowly but surely actually build up your willpower. So let me give you an example. Because I have been doing that this December, I have gained some weight. I haven't even gotten on the scale because I don't want to know. It's just going to make me mad. But I can tell how my clothes are fitting. I've gained some weight, but I'm not out of this current size of clothes. It's just a little muffin top situation. But I decided to not only accept it, but embrace it. Say, you know what? Way to go, Jen. Incredible move. This is actually a really good strategy. Given how stressed I have felt this December, that's actually a really smart move to just get dopamine this way. I actually could have considered going up on the antidepressive, meds that I take. I'm on the tapering dose. I'm on a dose that's not even supposed to do anything. So I could go up a little bit in dose. Or I could occasionally have a grilled cheese sandwich dipped in some ranch dressing, and it has actually kind of a similar effect for me. And I just thought, you know what? I don't want to go up on meds because then that stresses me out. Like if I ever want to taper off it, I just don't want to play those games. So I'm just going to eat a little more. I'm going to have a little more Pims and lemonade than I normally would. I'm actually drinking cider right now. And I really stand by that decision. And my goal is to not gain too much weight. But, if it helps me to eat that kind of food, I think I will. And because I have let go of all of that shame and guilt and stress and beating myself up and, I'm so bad, I did the wrong thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing it all in a spirit of joy and freedom. The craziest thing has started happening that I actually have had moments of kind of eating like a normal person where I say, okay, I could make a second grilled cheese sandwich here, and I am kind of craving it. Like my taste buds want to eat it, but you know what? I have had enough to eat. I mean, I don't have that, physical hunger level. I have satisfied my hunger. I just kind of want it just for sheer cravings purposes. You know what? I don't think I'll eat it. I think I'll just skip it and go to bed and have some water. I am only able to get to that place because I am not depleting my serotonin and dopamine reserves with shame and self-hate. Think about this. How is this podcast free? I mean, we just can't. I just don't. You're not. The ice bath people aren't telling you this kind of thing, and they get like millions more views than I do on YouTube. Think about this. What drives you to overeat and to drink too much is some kind of brain chemistry being off. Typically, it's your serotonin, dopamine. I actually don't totally understand the difference between those two chemical structures, but they're similar. I'm kind of using serotonin as a catch-all. There's some sort of imbalance there that you are trying to ameliorate. You're trying to balance it back out. You just feel those kind of negative chemical firings going on in your brain, and having a drink or something to eat kind of evens that out. So whether it's stress or maybe it's not even stress, you're just kind of wired that way. You are a naturally dopamine, serotonin deficient person. That is what drives it. Well, think about this. If you're walking around all day saying to yourself, man, look at how gross you look. Of course you look gross because you ate that thing last night. You shouldn't have eaten that. You shouldn't eat that. Why did you not hear the ice bath man? Did you not hear that, man? Discipline is the greatest form of self-care. Now you don't even care about self-care. This is disgusting. What are you doing? You're depleting the feel-good chemicals in your brain. You are setting yourself up for another binge because you are ginning up a whole bunch of negativity in your mind. And I have found when I just say, you know what, I've got to call it. I am stressed to the freaking max. I do not have those extra reserves of energy to be in any kind of weight loss thing, to be cutting anything out of my diet. I just don't have those reserves. I can't do it. Best I can do is just try not to binge. And I have been mindful of like, okay, maybe I don't need to eat the whole pizza, but I'm definitely having some of the pizza because it makes me feel good, and it's what I need to do right now. But I have a little extra energy because I'm not constantly hating myself, and I will use that extra energy to just keep it at a few slices and not eat the whole freaking thing. You will find that when you live that lifestyle and you just kind of give yourself a break and you do what you need to do to get through the day, then you will have enough positive chemicals in your brain and positive feelings built up that when this crazy time passes, you can say, okay, pants are getting a little tight. The holidays are over. We got the decorations put away. But this stressful time is past us. And yeah, you'll have new stresses. You'll have new stuff, going on. But you will be able to say, you know what, I would actually like to eat a little less. I'd like to use some extra energy to push through and do some kind of diet, fasting, whatever program to get some of these pounds off. And I think that you will be able to do that in a spirit of peace and joy and actually stick with it much longer over the long term, because you have learned to trust your now self. Rather than being like Ice Bath Man and being like, everything within me is telling me not to get in this water right now, but I'm going to do it anyway because what do you know? Shut up. Like, it's like you're being abusive to yourself. You're like, shut up, woman, get in that ice bath. Like, that's abusive, like, you know? And you're not doing that with yourself anymore. You're like, you know what? Everything in me is just saying, like, have this slice of pizza. I'm just going to do it. And because you fostered that feeling of trust in yourself in this moment, I think you will actually be able to stick with it when the time comes and you make a commitment that's important to you to stick with. Then that moment will come where in the moment you'll say, you know what, I do actually want to make this sacrifice. It doesn't feel great. It's going to be a little bit painful, but it feels right. I think the stars are aligning. I think things are good in my life right now that I can push through, and I'm going to push through. And you will have the energy to do that because you didn't waste a ton of time and energy hating yourself and smothering yourself in shame. So we're just getting fat in December. Again, let's normalize it. If we're all fat, then nobody will know the difference. You know, nobody will be like, well, there's that one person who's hot. It's like, no, we're all No, but that's the thing, because we're listeners of that. We'll still be hot. We'll just be hot with an extra 20 pounds. All right, patreon.com/thisisjen, JF on youtube.com, and we will be back with you next week here on the Jen Fulwiler Show.